Hello and welcome everyone into the Halloween event part 1. But before we kick off with that stuff, we got to level 72 this morning. Oh yes, it's time to claim our 7th route in 7 days. Let's see what Mateo's got to offer us today, this morning. Let's see where we're coming. Oh, it's from Poland. Not too far away from where I'm going to be in like a week's time anyway, but no egg obviously, but it does mean if we claim this route, that's 7 days, 7 routes. Don't need the XP, thank you very much, but level 72 people, we've got it. Come on. That's why we grinded on the Wednesday evening to get that route done and dusted. Let's claim reward, 1,600 Pokemon caught, a good amount of Pokestops visited, and 68k explored. So we get passes and lucky eggs, or 1 pass should I say, Ultra Balls and berries. Not exactly the grandest of rewards, but why I wanted to do this ahead of the Halloween event is because purify 100 Pokemon and power up 3 Pokemon to their max CP. Win 30 raids, we can do that during the course of the Halloween event. If we have a look-see here, I have prepared, I showed it on social media, 101 Pokemon in that tag to purify, which is great. So I'll be sitting down and doing that with a coffee soon. 3 level 50 max. I thought, let's make it all very Halloween focused. So we've got this Hundo Vulpix with a costume. Let's power that up to level 50. Burn the Stardust that we've accumulated over the course of doing the level 72 grind. 1 maxed. This one is very nearly maxed. This is the 2023 costume Halloween Pikachu to the max 1060. Very cool. I love my Hundo level 50 Pikachus. And finally, the Hundo Cubone from 2023's Dia de los Muertos event. 1152. 296 XL candy. That's 3 maxed out. Let's freaking go, people. And now, all we need to do is head into this tag, go to Black Sheep Coffee and pick ourselves up an ube matcha latte and start purifying people. And then we can begin the grind for those raids, because what I want to do today is get into the research tasks and the kilometers. Throw a like and subscribe if you're new, because the level grind ain't stopping here. We're now into the final 9 purifications. We've got some more interesting ones because I wasn't able to get enough grunts done dusted, so we're going to purify an XXL Groudon Shadow. That should be good for a future showcase. Also, Halloween theme at Black Sheep Coffee and Ube Matcha Latte. Purify a Shadow Shiny Regigigas, because just why not, otherwise it's going to sit in the storage. Where are you guys at on the level grind? Are you taking it hardcore? I've seen some people push in, which is very awesome to see. I'm going to wish you all the very best of luck. We've got to purify a Dialga just for the sake of completing the Pokédex. This one's an interesting one. We're actually going to purify to a Registeel Hundo. Good stuff. We know that Cresselia Shadow with a shiny potential is coming for Go Wild, so purifying our very first one doesn't mean anything. We're going to purify an XXL Gibble again for a future possible showcase. We're going to purify our very first Shadow Kyogre that we got from Giovanni. Just randomly purify a Machop because we actually have some better ones that are shadows. The last purification is taking like 20 minutes. It's such a slow animation, but that is 100 Pokemon have been purified. That ticks that off. And now it's just win 30 raids, and we can very much do that. By the way, before we push on, I would like to say thank you very much to Fortune Cookie, who invited us via RSVP to one of the Kurtichu raids that's going on currently in the India region, and we picked up a shiny one, which is awesome. I've never been able to get that shiny through 3 other rounds of chasing it. So we now have the Kurtichu. We actually got the Sarichu while we were doing G-Max Gengar weekend last Halloween. So it's taken a year of remote raiding and all kinds of stuff to pick that up. So you chasing those exclusive shinies in the Pikachu raids. Now that we're done with all of that, we can begin the raid and the research grind, and more importantly, the spawns. What are you going to get during the Halloween part 1? It's typical that you find non-costume stuff. The most important thing is you've got Sinistea available in the wild as a new shiny, which is awesome to chase. Poltchageist, however, looks like it might be raid locked, so you've got the things like Zubat, Sableye, and both Zorua forms, which is fantastic. The 1-star raids are probably going to be clogged up with the likes of the Shadow raids for your Mask and Phantom, but everything else can be shiny. And finally, the field research task, so if you're catching 10 Ghost or Dark-type Pokemon, that's going to give you either Phantom, Litwick, or your Mask, all shiny. Zorua and Vullaby are found in Evolve 3 Dark-types. That's quite a time-consuming quest. Evolving 3 Ghost-types can give you either Sableye or Hisuian Zorua. Either Dust may be good for level 72 grind people, or Hisuian Zorua, quite a new Pokemon. You can get yourself some Mega Energy for power up Pokemon 10 times, but importantly, Spiritomb is win 3 raids. That's quite a heavy paid task. If you need the shiny, very best of luck. But let's load up the game and see what we can get today. I'm very much on the grind for that Shiny Sinistea, brilliant purple pink shiny. And of course, as part of Halloween, it's a 2-week event. Obviously, part 2 begins on the 27th at 10 AM your local time, but you've got the Go Pass, which will lead to some pretty nice rewards. You've got many encounters there, a Rotom in the free track, and you've got the T-turn post if you go for the deluxe, which I very much think I will go for. I like the look of the rewards on this one. You've got the costume Pokemon there. The fact that this is here and it's free Rotom that can be shiny, that's a real win right there, and we're very close to getting that Terrakion. Not only do the visuals on the map look really good, but of course, how awesome is it to see your buddy? We're currently working to get it to best buddy, but this is either Zorua or Hisuian Zorua. This is one of the best things about this time of year in my view, is the fact that Zorua is boosted as a spawn. Very best of luck on the shiny grind, and of course the visuals. It's just stunning, and it's going to be even better in part 2 when you've got the costume Atedias and Noibat to chase, and I'm sure more spawns like Pumpkaboo and Vulpix and stuff. That's a Hisuian one that can't be shiny just yet. And actually it's an PvP? XXL straight off the bat, fantastic stuff. Is this going to be the regular or the Hisui? It's the Hisuian version. I wonder if that's going to be slightly more common because of course it can't be shiny just yet. We've got a whole ton of rewards to claim from the Go Pass for October, so let's get them done. And an encounter with a Dreepy with the background, that's not a hundo as far as I'm aware. And of course, if you aren't aware, if you bought the deluxe version of the Go Pass for October, it was originally mislabeled as having the lucky trinket at rank 100. So I'm not sure if it's still available that you buy it now and you can get the rank 100 reward, but you will get a lucky trinket when you hit rank 100. The fact that more people are trying to buy it now, hopefully Niantic take note that people want to buy the lucky trinket from the deluxe pass, but this is a Lucario that is not a shiny one, unfortunately. And here comes the final reward, the Terrakion, 2113. For the hundo is not shiny and 2072, just like every single other pretty much legendary. The only time I've had a shiny of the legendary from the Go Pass was back in May, I think it was, with Yveltal, and that was off the premium track, back when the premium track actually gave you a second legendary encounter rather than just an item or Pokecoins or whatever. But there we go, that is October's Go Pass completed. 10% power. I should really put my phone on charge. Barely scraping a 3-star. And since we're here, let's get through some of the Halloween Go Pass, shall we? 497 Ghastly. This is awful. What's really worrying me, there's no sign of Sinistea anywhere, so if it's an incredibly rare spawn, it's going to be very difficult to chase it. Good luck. Don't forget it does get a spot hour this time next week. This is what happens when you do random raids just for the sake of quests. It's a Shadow Shiny Scyther from a raid. Weather boosted 1813 with the background for Halloween. Then we had a Shiny Scyther not too long ago, actually. Let's get a call, because I have no idea of the numbers of this thing. I know Tony TM got a purifiable Shundo of the thing, which is awesome. We actually daily incensed a Shundo Scyther right at the very beginning of the year. This is just awful, but it's a shiny for the video. And what's genuinely scary is there's still no sign of a Sinistea anywhere. There's nowhere to be seen. In fact, actually, we're going to miss an RSVP. That's dangerous. RSVPs for Sarichu. This is unbelievable. That's back-to-back raids, people. Oh, you son of a beautiful thing. Let's give it a silver pineapple and get that thing caught. That's our second one. Oh, it was a year apart. Gotta love doing those random raids and seeing what happens. Come on. 528 is actually a really solid one. 93%er. I was the only person in the raid, so that works nicely. Graveyard, shame that thing isn't shiny for this event, but they went with the Gen 8 stuff. But as we know, people, part 1 of the Halloween event is typically worse than Halloween part 2 because the good stuff from part 1 rolls over to part 2 and then part 2 bolsters it with costume shinies and all kinds of stuff. Shout out to Maria, who has got a Poltchageist raid. Thank you very much. I managed to snipe into it. So let's get our Pokédex right here. I don't know the 100%, but this, unfortunately, is the only way at the moment to obtain this Pokemon. Raids, 1-star raids. However, we know that things become a bit more available as time progresses. So I guarantee you next year, this will either be in the wild or available through quests or possibly the new shiny for the Halloween 2026, and we got 619, I think, or something like that. Let me know if you got your Pokédex. Are you chasing this thing? I really like this Pokemon. I think it's such an interesting variant on the Sinistea kind of thing with Poltchageist and Sinistea. But there we go. It's Poltchageist, sorry. I'm trying to get the names around here. Let's go for it. Silver Pineapple. It attacks. Hit the Great Throw on it. Definitely going to get an AL shot with this thing. Somewhere. Possibly in front of Black Sheep Coffee. 9 candy for it, and into the Gen 9 Pokédex it comes. Fantastic. next to Diplin, actually. Mysterious, there's more than one form. Okay, so it's like the antique and the phony form. It's not too bad, but it's from Malta. Thank you very much, Maria, for that lucky invite. There we go. I'm very happy to have sniped that one in. Few tips for this event. If you're chasing Sinistea, put on your Sinistea alerts in the Pokédex so you can kind of track the Pokemon. It's not the best system, but also if you're chasing for candy of any of the catches, get yourself a tier 3 Mega Sableye on, because that's going to boost both dark and ghost type catches. Right, we've got Poltchageist. Let's see if we can find a Sinistea. My point proven with the tracker. Look, there is a Sinistea, but it's not showing up on any nearby. The closest one, according to this, is over in Haven Green. So that's what I mean. The tracker in the Pokédex is not exactly the best tool, but not shiny. But it's really nice to have this thing in the wild for the first time, because previously it was quest and raid locked, and now it's obviously available in the research breakthrough. Good job it can be shiny these days. Progression. This thing was introduced, I think, in December of last year with the My Cup of Tea event. I donned the bow tie, of course, and now it's available in the wild, and it's a brand new shiny 0 star. Just a lot to catch, honestly. I really like these style of events where there's good things to chase in the wild and a bit in raids and quests. Kind of every medium covered. No egg coverage in this event, but that's not the worst thing. Just wandering down to a Sinistea raid as the first post 11 AM raid, but we've got a double check right here. 810, not going to be shiny. By the time it goes up, people will probably know. I'm not sure if it's a 1 in 64 boost or if it's a standard 1 in 500, whatever, but that's a no shiny on those 2 checks. We've only seen 5. In an hour and a quarter. It's going to be a rare chase, like seriously. Not unexpected, but I did think to be able to find a few more on the wild. I would argue this is, at the moment of recording, too rare. Oh, it's gonna be a Zorua of the Hisuian variant. And the other thing I note about part 1 is actually if you are on the dust grind to get 1,000,000 dust, there's 2 very serious Stardust boosted Pokemon featured. Obviously Sableye and Alola Meowth is also 750 dust per catch. So get catching those cats and those gremlins. Let's jump in our first Sinistea raid. Now the only saving grace of doing Sinistea raids is apparently it is more shiny boosted in those 1-star raids. Now that is the case for part 1 and for part 2. But as we always say, take a pinch of salt with that statement, because more boosted could mean anything from, you know, yes, it's boosted to 1 in 64 in the raids to it's increased by 0.1%. And typically, as we've seen, any of you know who've done a raid day, having a shiny boost doesn't necessarily determine getting more shinies. So you choose if you want to burn your raid passes on a Sinistea or not. Given that it's very rare in the wild, it might be worth chucking 1 or 2 in. But for me, it isn't pink and it's 616, and all it's going to do is count for that extra raid. It's the phony form. We have RSVP with 30 seconds left on it. Come on, come on, come on. If you know me on the channel, I like myself a hundo, so I'm definitely going to try and do as many Poltchageist raids as possible. Poor little matcha teapot thing being absolutely annihilated. 636. Obviously, it can't be shiny just yet, but it's a tiny little thing. Let's give it a silver pineapple. Need all the candies we can get. More candies, and this is... It's not bad. 91. Oh, there's a Sinistea in the wild. It's not shiny. The other thing to note is, of course, Genesect in 3 different forms is back for the next week in those 5-star raids. And just like Deoxys, it's another one that you cannot trade because it's a mythical. I'm not even sure we're going to bother catching it, but I need it for those raids. It's not red. Thank you very much. Just second ball. Good stuff. Awful. So in the bin you go. 3 Spiritomb checks right here. So 1 isn't shiny and 888 would be your glorious 100%er. Still looking after that 100%er. Hopefully it's not shiny. 10 CP worse than the previous one. Always a very rare part of any Halloween event, and no shiny in 855 once again. Rare task, rare Pokemon, going to continue to be rare, unfortunately. We have managed to find a Sinistea raid. I think it's the only one actually around at the moment. Will it not be shiny? And 622. It's phony. But at least I can add it to a showcase and lose horribly. 56th. Hisuian Samurai is annoyingly in a place that I can't access. Massive bat versus tiny teacup. What do you think's gonna happen? Yes, we finally managed to find another Sinistea raid. It's 630, which I don't think is particularly good. It's like 650 or 670 or something like that for the 100%er. This should have been... Ooh, it's not shiny. What a shame. We only have 3 more raids to do. With this in the wild, it was only a matter of time before we grabbed one. I hope you can get one during this event if you need it. Volibee, good shiny family. And also, I believe it's still a perma-boosted shiny because it began its life in eggs, of course. 12 kilometer event eggs. Now look at it. I mean, it's still in them, but you could just get it for free in the wild. It's lovely to see it. 421. 2-star. Could be worse. I really like the event spawns. There's a good mix of things. There's some spooky bugs. giving that creepy crawly vibe. Cats for the sort of witchy vibe. Blue Spider's not bad, actually. And to be honest, I know there's no spoilers anymore because we've seen Legends ZA. Venipede, when it gets to Scolipede, does get a Mega in the brand new game. Even Litwick, that's in the Catch 10 Dark or Ghost Pokemon, that has a Mega as a Chandelure. Much the same with Poltchageist. It's met by an army of Eternatus and Curem. Poor little thing. But we get a 633. I don't know why I'm getting used to the shiny check, because it can't happen, but I'll get the silver pineapple down, thank you, and not get run over. But this is 3-star. Could be worse. Is the Sinistea still here, lurking around somewhere? How hard is it to find the Sinistea? I'm really having to drop Spatial Rend to find this Sinistea. There it is. It finally appears and it's not shiny. I will say though, since the event began, it does seem to be spawning a lot more. I think it's that thing of an event starting and the event spawns getting going. Definitely appearing more, and certainly I've noticed it's appearing more in green spaces like parks. Maybe bear that in mind when you're hunting for it. But let's go and get this final raid done, shall we? And here we go. This is our final raid that we need. And I'm just using my team of random shundos to try and will the Galarian Yamask to sparkle. 30 raids has taken a hell of a lot longer than I really expected it to. Of course, I'm trying to speed run as best as I can the level grind. You really don't need to. You really don't need to stress if it's not your thing. I'm honestly so stoked that we managed to get this done today. This is what I wanted to achieve. Before having to dive into the edit of the video, G Yamask completing the 30th raid. G Yamask, it's not shiny for starters, but 532. It's probably dead. Let's get it caught. Maybe that's not. I don't know. I love how it's ticking off the quest for level 73 or 4 already. 30 platinum medals already achieved. You were annoying. What's also stupid is I didn't see there's a Poltchageist that's just hatched at the end of the road. And I didn't see it, but there we go. That is level 73. Done. Fantastic. 370 Pokemon caught, 12k, and some stops have been spun. We get our Shades, a Rare XL, a Raid Pass back for all 30 raids, and 25 pineapples that are going to go to the bin. But that doesn't matter. Now, level up max moves 20 times. We could do that or just burn it on stupid stuff. Explore 200 kilometers is going to be a grind because that's not including the stuff I've done today. That's from this point onwards. So I don't see me doing that even in October, to be honest. 250 research stars, that's why I want to get to this because I can actually claim some research already. For a Spiritomb, oh, so close. So close. 886. How brilliant would that have been? First quest to get into level 73, Hondo Spiritomb. But sadly, it's not to be. It's not even to be in the ball, apparently. It's fine. You know what? You're just going to play hard to get, Sunshine. I will be chasing you a little bit over the course of this Halloween event. And we've got a Tortuga for win something. I don't know. But what I do know I have to do right now is not only put the Go++ on to get some stops, but there is daily incense to do. And I want to make sure I get that done today, but I am going to go and top up on some not matcha. Let's go and get a regular coffee. But thank you everybody who jumped into the raids over the course of today and who've spammed me with RSVPs and invites. You made that possible. Quick shout out to Max Ruboy for the dono for the coffee. Appreciate you, my man. And of course, we fully appreciate every single person who's part of the awesome Patreon squad, including some fresh faces and some returning members as of late. Thank you very much to each and every one of you for taking your support to the next level, because it means things like LA that's happening in February next year is a possibility. Without your support, we wouldn't be able to continue doing the content in the manner that we do. So fully appreciate you guys on the rolling credit. Thank you. Oh, I knew Roar of Time was a good idea. Yes! Galarian Articuno. Not shiny, of course, as you can tell from the color palette, but with the background, fantastic, which does mean I have to go to my trusty article from Pokemon GO Hub, and you can see that 1744 would be a 5% chance of the right IV combination. And it hasn't glitched. Oh joy. We haven't got Iceburn down because I put Roar of Time on now, so botched the throw completely. One, two, and out it goes. And adios. Yes, son of a birdie. Can't complain though, it was a terrible throw, but it's lovely to see a G Articuno with that backdrop. And that is very much going to wrap up the day one of part one of the Halloween event of right now. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget there's plenty of ways to get either dust, shinies that are either boosted or not, and Poltchageist is only in those 1-star raids, and it seems to be quite hard to come by. But very best of luck, and of course, let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comments below. And if you did enjoy what you saw here today, please consider hitting that subscribe button, sticking with me for the Pokemon Go content, because I think it's just that we give Lavender Town's music a little bit of airtime, because I want to do some night grinds for this Halloween event, and let's chase that Shiny Sinistea as best we can. But don't forget, there's plenty of other videos available here on the channel for you to enjoy. If you want to have a look at what Part 2 could look like in a week's time, check out that video up there. We're actually in Turin and Genoa in Italy when Part 2 kicked off last year, and we're going to be abroad for it this time as well. But I will say, until the next time, folks, do take care.